Hey, welcome to Unpatterned. There's something I want to talk to you today that lives much deeper than memory, deeper than personality, deeper even than what we usually call our story. It's what many people refer to as the mother wound. And before your mind goes anywhere dramatic or defensive, let me say this gently. This isn't about blaming your mother. It's not a character assassination. It's not a therapy ambush. It's just a remembering. For me, this wound began long before my mother ever held me. It began the moment the Divine Mother, the feminine principle of nurture, intuition, embodiment, and belonging, was slowly pushed out of our collective world, when hierarchy replaced connection, where control replaced wisdom, when survival became more important than feeling. That loss didn't just happen in society. It seeped into family lines, into bodies, into the ways women learned how to mother and how to be mothered. And here's the part we often miss. This wound doesn't belong only to women. The patriarchy didn't just silence the feminine, it emotionally exiled the masculine too. It taught men to disconnect, to harden, to perform, to be strong. Emotions were seen as weakness. They were taught to push their feelings aside. So healing the mother wound isn't about elevating one over the other. It's about restoring the balance. No pedestals, no punishment, just wholeness. The mother wound is an inheritance, an emotional heirloom passed quietly down the maternal line, not through intention, but through what was never healed. Through the grief that had no place to land. Through fear disguised as perfectionism. Through love that came with conditions because survival demanded it. Even the most loving mother can pass this on, not because she failed, but because she herself was carrying something heavy and unnamed. And so we grow up thinking we're living our own lives when in subtle ways we're carrying hers, her fears, her compromises, her unspoken dreams. We might find ourselves shrinking, overgiving, staying loyal to pain long after it stops serving us, all in the name of love and belonging, because somewhere deep inside the body believes that staying connected matters more than being free. In family constellation work, this shows up all the time. Daughters entangled with their mother's unresolved pain, not logically but loyally, becoming the strong one, the rescuer, the emotional stand-in. We do it because we sense her heartbreak, and without realizing it, we offer ourselves as the solution. We think love means carrying. We think connection requires sacrifice, and no one ever tells us we're allowed to put the burden down. But here's the truth. Carrying her pain doesn't heal her. It just keeps the wound moving forward through the family line. Some wounds are loud, others are subtle, and the subtle ones can hurt just as much. Overprotection disguised as love, criticism wrapped in concern, conditional affection delivered with good intentions. These are the wounds that don't leave bruises, but leave questions. Am I too much? Am I enough? If I speak my truth, will I lose love? So many women gaslight themselves here. Nothing bad happened. She did her best, and maybe both are true. But unacknowledged pain still shapes us, even when it was unintentional. This wound doesn't stay in the psyche, it lives in the body, in the tension that won't release, in the exhaustion that rest doesn't touch, in hormones, fertility struggles, anxiety, autoimmune flare-ups, numbness, and disconnection from the womb. Our bodies remember what our minds learn to ignore, and they've been holding the story patiently, waiting for us to listen. And when we do, when we place a hand on the body and say, I am here now, something begins to soften, not because the past disappears, but because we stop abandoning ourselves in the present. Healing this wound isn't about fixing anyone, it's about reclaiming wholeness, and wholeness doesn't mean perfection or perpetual calm. It means you stop shrinking, you stop earning love through self-betrayal. You allow your rage, your grief, your joy, your sensitivity to exist without apology. You realize your body is not a battleground, it's a home. Science even backs this now. Epigenetics show us that trauma, stress, and survival patterns are passed through the generations. And here's that mic drop. When your mother was a fetus in your grandmother's womb, she was already carrying the eggs that you would become. Think about this. It means that you were there, listening, absorbing. The story has been seeping for generations, but so has the wisdom. Your ancestors didn't pass down pain because they wanted you to suffer. They passed down survival. And now you get to choose something different, not in rejection of them, but in honor of them. You don't betray your lineage by choosing joy. You fulfill its deepest hope. This is how legacies change, not through perfection, through presence, through awareness, through compassion that finally lets that pattern loosen its grip. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need to be fully healed to begin. You rise while you are still raw. You speak while your voice shakes. You choose yourself even when it feels unfamiliar, especially then. Because this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you to disappear. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. I do appreciate you being here. If something resonated and you feel called to explore this work more deeply, my book, Oh My God, I Remembered Me, is available. The link is below. And if you'd like to stay connected, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Unpatterned by Minky K. So join me next time as we continue to dive deeper into these patterns that keep us stuck. This is Minky K, and this is Unpatterned.